Welcome to a special holiday edition of Shire TV. I'm your guest host, Garret Ean.
And I'm James Cleveland. As the Shire TV studios closed for the Martin Luther King Jr. federal holiday, we are coming to you via broadcast on delay from the media hub of the Keene Activist Center. 'Twas a busy week in Keene for liberty activists. There was a small hubbub caused over a recent stint of ambush interviews performed by liberty activists. Your two hosts tonight set out Saturday morning to shed some light on information that was censored from the airwaves of WKBK's Talkback. The story begins back October 1st of last year during the previously covered international event Chalk the Police Day.
This program's dedicated viewers may recall a guest appearance by myself on that day to discuss a Keene bureaucrat's crashing of the celebration in Central Square. At one point there was a man who called out to the people who were chalking from the street that they had to stop what they were doing, and I assumed it was just an annoyed passerby, and myself and other people invited him over to chalk with us. He parked in traffic, blocking a lane in Central Square. So he's blocking a lane in a rotary, which is quite dangerous. And he got out of his car, began talking to other chalkers. When I grabbed my camera and began approaching him, I noticed he was wearing some sort of identification badge. And I heard him say something about asking people to stop chalking as though he had some authority to do so. When I went to film his badge, he raised his hand and pushed it away. And I guess as he was doing that,
Your
he
camera?
also... Yes.
Wow.
Pushed my camera away. So he basically assaulted me. I believe he also hit someone standing next to me as that happened with his arm.
Right.
Hey, don't hit me.
He doesn't need to do that.
Yeah, but don't hit me.
Who is that man?
You did.
I got his ID in the shot. He's covering it up now.
We asked him, like, who are you? Like, what authority do you have to do this? And after some conversation, we learned that he was the parks manager for the city of Keene. And he was claiming his authority as a city bureaucrat to get us to stop chalking.
Love it.
That's so cool. Thank you.
Okay, so fun.
In the video, Andy goes on to eventually uncover his name badge, and he shakes hands with the person he told he was calling the police on, at her insistence. I've seen Andy at a few events since then, but we didn't interact. After I was informed that you, James, are going to be calling into the local talk show Talkback, while Andy was a guest, I tuned in. How quickly were you cut off the line once you had brought up your topic?
When I first called, I brought up Article 8 of the New Hampshire Constitution, which addresses government officials and their agents being at all times accountable to the people. I then mentioned the video in which Andy refused to ID himself and hid his identification badge for members of the public. I was hung up on. Andy said he learned a lot and the show continued.
After I heard your call and noticed how quickly they wanted to change the subject, I decided it would be appropriate to call myself. I began by referencing the objective eye of the video and asked if maybe an apology was appropriate. I was off the line in no time. Thereafter, co-host of the program Terry Clark responded that it was unfortunate that some people harass city officials. While he didn't specifically accuse anyone, I believe the insinuation was that I may be involved with this alleged indecency. Others in the community phoned in to oppose the characterization of local media as harassing. I was glad when I called back that I was able to get back on the program, but about 10 to 20 seconds into my call, I was not only hung up on, but I was dumped from the airwaves, meaning nobody listening heard my call. And after phoning the station's program director, I learned that no recording is made of the dumped audio, so effectively my call was tossed down the memory hole.
Okay, let's cut to the chase and check out the video from that morning.
Right on. They dumped my call on WKBK's Talkback. Cynthia Georgina dumped an entire call in which I thanked Officer, I believe Speckbowers is his name, for being an open and accountable person and choosing to join people who were chalking on Chalk the Police Day. Silencing someone and then claiming that they're harassing someone, that's very irresponsible, that's very unaccountable. And then when I learned that they dumped my entire call, I was not very happy that I hadn't recorded it ahead of time. So we are heading to the WKBK studios right now to see who we can meet up with there and who might be leaving right after their interview.
Andy, you said you learned from the encounter. What did you learn exactly? Did you learn at least not to push people's cameras? Why are you refusing to talk? You're such an accountable person. Wow, what an open and accountable person in accordance with Part 1st, Article 8 of the New Hampshire Constitution.
Now you want to go in?
Hello, Cynthia.
Hi.
My name's Garret. I'm the call that you hung up on and dumped earlier in the show.
Okay.
Do you think it's very accountable to accuse someone of harassment and then hang up on them and dump their call?
Well, I think it's something that we find necessary to do sometimes because people keep calling and talking about things that are not pertinent to the subject being discussed.
Okay, well, you can understand our concern. You know, we just wanted to ask Andy about... He actually assaulted him. That's on video.
Yeah, he grabbed my camera. Like,
It's
you're not supposed to do
my
that.
concern, and it wasn't the concern of the show right then, so that's all I have to say about that. Thank you
Okay,
very much.
have a good day. It's unfortunate that we just missed the show's other co-host that morning when we arrived at the studios.
Just short of a trifecta. It's the goal for next time.
Now, watching that video and having been present when they were filmed, it's incredible how different people can pull whatever they want to see out of the footage.
Ain't it the truth? One person who identified as a close associate of the subject of one of our interviews posted a distressed message to Free Keene's Facebook page. A truncated version of the message reads, "Free Keene attacks again. This past Saturday, the local Free Stater group swarmed the radio station to verbally accost and intimidate local radio talk show host and retired city councilor Cynthia Georgina. During her talk show, the Free Staters did their usual bit of obnoxious political phone-ins and whining about whatever, but not what the topic of the show was at the time. Cynthia, who has done her best week after week, year after year, to be tolerant and patient with their buffoonery, reached a point where she cut them off the air. This apparently was enough to motivate them as a group to jump in their cars and drive to the station, wait for her to leave, harass and intimidate Cynthia and Andy Bohannon, who was a guest on air with her. What has this group come to? Where does this end? Do radio show hosts in Keene now need protection if they don't kowtow to Ian and his minions? The radio station does not owe them open airtime. They are a pestilence."
It's interesting how even though Andy pushed a camera, hid his ID badge, refused to ID, and blocked traffic, we are the bad guys for trying to have a conversation.
It's understandable that some people find the ambush interview intimidating, because by its nature it is. Coincidentally, indie video journalist Dave Ridley had later on the day of this incident released a State of the Activism critique and noted that from his perspective, too much Liberty media has been produced insularly, in that we are not engaging enough with our opposition. He specifically cites the ambush interview as an attention-grabbing, always intriguing, and effective method of action, and it's no surprise that among Liberty media, Dave is an expert at this tactic.
Here are some highlights from Ridley's production, Peacefully Besiege the Police State, Not Each Other.
To counter the police state, we are concentrating strategically in a single U.S. state. We are essentially moving our human assets to our other human assets. But once they're concentrated like that, they're not supposed to bunch up and just only go where each other are. They're supposed to go to the enemy, right? Of course, I shouldn't be using the word enemy. These people are our opponents. We don't dislike them. But how boring would the Ridley Report be if instead of doing this...
Are you attempting to subvert the legislative process of the state by using bureaucracy to regulate homeschoolers?
I don't want to answer any of your questions. Thank you.
I'm going to take that as a yes.
You know, the ambush interview of the authoritarian. What if I just did what everyone else seems to be doing and went to liberty activist events and took pictures of the people eating and meeting and interviewed people who I agreed with? Of course, these are things I do here and there, and sometimes I have to do them more than I would like. But at a strategic level, we belong around each other. But at a tactical level, we should be engaged. We should be at our opponent's base. It should be what we live for. These things like the Liberty Forum, Porkfest, the little weekly get-togethers and stuff like that, that's fine. But, you know, what I really want to hear about, and I think the audiences want to hear about, is your tangles with the authoritarians legislatively. with police, with the town tyrant. And it's pretty fun, just hearing about it on Free Talk Live if you recount your experiences. But really, the thing that I wish people were doing is the ambush interview. It seems like not very many people are doing these in New Hampshire. But anyway, the ambush interview is just not commonly done, and I think it is the most important, or it's the most effective thing you can do by yourself.
I'm sorry. Are you the boss?
You're going to have to leave the building.
You're the boss.
I'm one of the prosecutors.
Okay. Who's the boss?
If you go to some kind of legislative hearing or to to see the town tyrants while they're meeting, as long as it doesn't interfere with something else you're doing. Now, if you're trying to win them over, maybe you don't want to ambush interview them. But again, like I was saying in another video recently, trying to be nice to the authoritarians. Yes, you want to be polite, but trying to be too nice to them and try to make them your buddy and go to lunch with them and stuff like that. It seems like they hate you more if you do that than if you ambush interview them. So I just don't, I don't think that, well, I should just speak for me. I don't think there's anything I can do that's more effective when I go to I can't think of anything I do in the state that's more effective than the ambush interview. And it only takes one of me to do it. It doesn't even take much planning. No reason you can't do it too. I'm so tired of hearing about terrible things that the authoritarians have said. And I ask, where's the video? And the answer is, I didn't get any video. So it's just, I don't know. Just walking up to them with recorders on is priceless, and we could use a lot more of it. I'm only doing as much as one person can do. Oh, and by the way, I'm not talking about videotaping meetings. That's boring. I mean, yes, there probably does need to be some kind of video record of a meeting, but don't expect anybody to watch it. If you collect, you'd have to collect something scandalous and point it out in a smaller video, right? As opposed to, the raw video, no one's going to watch it. So, like, again, if you're going to go to meetings, yeah, you could tape them if you want, but the really valuable thing is the ambush interview. I can guarantee you shoot one, I'll be watching.
Here's a collection of some of my more noteworthy ambush interviews filmed for freeconcord.org.
I'm a direct prosecutor. I work at the Attorney General's office, and I prosecute direct cases. The issue on the table...
Ms. Echo, could I ask you some questions about your testimony?
Actually, I am late for an appointment.
Okay, well, I'll walk with you then. You mentioned about how a lot of the drugs coming into the state from Mexico are now coming from California. Would you prefer that they come from Mexico, where the drug war is far more violent? Do you want New Hampshire money being funneled into that? Are you also aware that higher quality marijuana, which is coming from California, is actually safer because it requires less combusted plant matter to reach the same desired medicinal effect? Why do you want to throw people in cages for using medicine?
Hi, how are you doing?
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, you're welcome. You're welcome. Thanks for all you do.
Thank you.
Governor Lynch, I wanted to ask you, what more needs to be done on the medical marijuana bill before you'd find it fit for passing?
Thank you. Thanks for being here tonight. Thank you.
Is there a standard by which you would say that it's reached the point where it's a good bill and you will pass it?
Yeah, thanks for being here.
You don't have an answer for that question?
Want to get your photo taken?
Sure. Yeah. As I said in the line, we're just not stopping.
Okay, so one quick question would be good, but...
You can ask a question as you're having your photo taken. That's what everybody's been doing, but we're not stopping to do recorded video.
Okay.
All right? Thanks.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, Governor Hassan. I have one quick question.
Well, you know what? We're going to take a pic. This is my husband,
Okay.
Tom. Say hi.
Hello,
and
Tom.
while we're having
Come on over here and take a picture. Will you be doing anything to...
Oh, wait. If this is...
Hold that for a second.
Oh, sure, you are. Will you be doing anything to decrease the New Hampshire's dependence on the United States federal government?
I think that's something we'll all talk about. Okay? Thanks.
Thank you.
Ridley's video brings up some good points about your activism hitting on different levels. He believes that the ambush interview is the most effective use of a video camera for a single person, whereas Robin Hooding here locally involves many people and many cameras, and we're getting all sorts of different angles. And James, what sort of response have you found to Robin Hooding here in Keene?
I would say overall the response has been positive. I mean, there have been a few instances where people didn't like what we were doing, or maybe questioned it. Most people are either indifferent or they think it's a good thing. Like, for instance, today I had an interaction. This guy, I had a quick discussion with him. He was basically questioning what I was doing, and I was explaining it to him. And by the end of the conversation, he was like, well, maybe we don't need parking meters because Newport and Claremont don't have parking meters. And during the conversation, 2 people actually came up and thanked me for saving them from the ticket. So that was another interesting part.
Up next, a video that highlights some of the positive interactions that Robin Hood's merry men have had with the public.
Is this your car?
Yeah.
Okay. The parking guy. I just wanted to make sure you won't get a ticket.
Oh, yeah. Hey, thanks.
You can take a card.
What's your card? What do? You just put money in for
Robin
people?
Hood. Yeah, I try to prevent people from getting
nice.
a ticket.
Hey, that's a really nice thing to do.
No problem. Have a great day.
Yeah.
What is that?
So you can take it. We're saving people from getting tickets.
Hell yeah.
How's it going?
Good, how are you?
You fine? We're saving people from the parking enforcer.
Oh, very nice. Your meter is expired, whoever we saved you from.
How's it going?
How you doing?
Good. Just trying to save people from getting tickets.
Oh, cool. Good for you. Wish I had a car.
I hate to bother you. I just saved you from a ticket.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, the parking enforcer. Have a good day.
Oh.
Your meter was expired.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Have a good day. Yeah, we're trying to.
Turning left on West Street.
We're trying to help people not get tickets. So you can have a card.
Good luck.
Thank you.
I'm in the Wendy's parking lot area.
I hate to bother you, but I just saved you from a ticket. Parking ticket. The parking enforcer's right there. Your meter was expired. You can take a card. Have a great day, man.
Thank you.
Yep. How you doing, sir?
Good.
Saving people from getting a ticket.
Thanks.
Have a great day. Oh, I got it.
Oh, no, you don't have to give me money.
That's okay. I'm trying to save people from getting a ticket.
Oh, that's sweet.
Have a good day. Here you go. I didn't want you to get a ticket. Have a good day. You guys can take a card if you want.
Oh, thank you. Here's the $3 meter. Oh, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
As far as different forms of activism go in Keene, Robin Hooding is a particularly decentralized form of activism in that different people contribute in different ways. Some people will film and fill meters, some people will only fill meters, some people will film and only antagonize the meter maid, some people will not speak to the meter maid.
Yeah, and some people, they contribute, let's say monetarily, maybe they don't want to go out for whatever reason. We had an individual design the cards that we're passing out and order them for us, so that was very helpful. And, we appreciate that.
And it's worth watching how different approaches elicit different responses from people. For example, Chris Cantwell, who was on Shire TV recently, has a very confrontational approach. He engages the meter maids and tells them, we're following you and we have radios and we are going to beat you to the meters. Whereas I hadn't done that in the past, I'd been more silent. But recently I found that opening up and engaging with the parking enforcers, I like to engage them in a positive way and try and get on their good side, because it's, to me at least, it's not about just making the parking enforcers feel uncomfortable. Granted, all government bureaucrats should feel somewhat uncomfortable, but for me it's more about saving the people from this tax and making it not worth the cost of enforcement.
And in closing tonight, we show you a special video.
At this time, one by one, veterans of the wars of NATO will walk up on stage. They will tell us why they chose to return their medals to NATO. I urge you to honor them by listening to their stories. Nowhere else will you hear from so many who fought these wars, about their journey from fighting a war to demanding peace.
My name is Iris Feliciano. I served in the Marine Corps, and in January of 2002, I deployed in support of Operation Enduring Freedom. And I want to tell the folks behind us in these enclosed walls where they build more policies based on lies and fear that we no longer stand for them. We no longer stand for their lies, their failed policies, and these unjust wars. Bring our troops home and end the war now. They can have these back.
My name is Pete Sullivan. I served in the Army National Guard for 12 years, and all I have to say is that this is not something that I'm proud of.
My name's Erica Sloan. I'm from Ohio. I served in the Air Force from 2002 to 2008. I'm an Iraq veteran. And the military is where I learned what integrity meant, and I believe I served with integrity. And at this point in my life, if I want to continue to live with integrity, I must get rid of these.
My name is Greg Miller. I'm a veteran of the United States Army Infantry with service in Iraq 2009. The military hands out cheap tokens like this to soldiers, service members, in an attempt to fill the void where their conscience used to be once they indoctrinated out of you. But that didn't work on me, so I'm here to return my Global War on Terrorism medal and my National Defense medal because they're both lies.
My name is Jerry. I'm from New York City. I served in the Army from 2005 to 2009. I fought in Iraq in support of Operation Iraqi Freedom. I today am giving back my Global War on Terrorism Service Medal because I realized that after a while that it was just nothing but an idea made by a bunch of politicians, money-hungry politicians in Washington who will do nothing and have a complete disregard for human life and will do anything in their power to just make more money in the end. Now if it's just an idea, then therefore it was just an idea that sparked two wars that I had to fight in. And I don't want any part of it anymore. And I choose human life over war, militarism, and imperialism.
My name is Scott Kimball. I'm an Iraq war vet. And I'm turning in these medals today for the people of Afghanistan, Iraq, Palestine, and all victims of occupation across the world. And also, for all the service members and veterans who are against these wars, you are not alone!
My name is Christopher May. I left the Army as a conscientious objector. We were told that these medals represented, democracy and justice and hope and change for the world. These medals represent a failure on behalf of the leaders of NATO to accurately represent the will of their own people. It represents a failure on the leaders of NATO to do what's right by the disenfranchised people of this world. Instead of helping them, they take advantage of them. That's right. And they're making things worse. Exactly. I will not be a part of that anymore. These medals don't mean anything to me, and they can have them back. Woo!
My name is Ash Wilson. I was a sergeant. I was in Iraq in 03, and what I saw there crushed me. I don't want us to suffer this again, and I don't want our children to suffer this again. So I'm giving these back. Yeah!
I'm David Van Dam. I was in the U.S. Navy. I'm a GI resistor. I got an other than honorable discharge, and I want to say that their policies are other than honorable. And I'm honorable, and all the GI resistors that refuse to fight in unjust wars are honorable. This is in solidarity for all GI resistors of unjust wars.
My name is Mark Strudis. I'm from Chesterton, Indiana. I just want to say thank you for being understanding, inviting, and wonderful. Even these guys in black and blue. It's a good conduct medal.
I'm Jacob Crawford. I went to Iraq and Afghanistan, and when they gave me these medals, I knew they were meaningless. I only regret not starting to speak up about how silly the war is sooner. I'm giving these back. Free Bradley Manning.
My name is Jason Hurd. I spent 10 years in the United States Army as a combat medic. I deployed to Baghdad in 2004. I'm here to return my Global War on Terrorism Service Medal in solidarity with the people of Iraq and the people of Afghanistan. I am deeply sorry for the destruction that we have caused in those countries and around the globe. I am proud to stand on this stage with my fellow veterans and my Afghan sisters.
My name is Chris Moberg. I was part of the invasion of Iraq in 2003. And out of love and respect, out of the Iraqi people and the people of Afghanistan, I'm going to return these representations of hate and destruction back where they came from.
My name is Raymond Knable, and I'm here to return my medals. NATO, the USA government, and Israel need to be held accountable for the war crimes, genocide, torture, and drone attacks. I'm returning my medals.
My name is Stephen Lund. I'm a two-time Iraq combat veteran. This medal I'm dedicating to the children of Iraq that no longer have fathers and mothers.
My name is Steve Atchison. I'm from Campbellsport, Wisconsin. I was a forward observer in the United States Army for just under 5 years. I deployed to Sadr City, Iraq in 2005. And I'm giving back my medals for the children of Iraq and Afghanistan. May they be able to forgive us for what we've done to them. May we begin to heal, and may we live in peace from here until eternity.
My name's Phil, I'm from Atlanta, and the reason why I'm throwing my medal back is because we are the global 99%, and we refuse to be silenced from Egypt back here to Chicago. Hello, my name is Michael Thurman. I was a conscientious objector from the United States Air Force. I'm returning my Global War on Terrorism medal and my military coins on behalf of Private First Class Bradley Manning, who sacrificed everything to show us the truth about these wars.
Imperialism! U.S. imperialism! And I'm James Cleveland.
And I'm Garret Ean.
May you each find peace, prosperity, whatever. I don't know.